bubbles of immediate past Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Dr. Ammishaddai Owusu-Amoah, appear far from abating. The former GRA boss, who is under investigations by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, is now to serve a 5-year disqualification from public office after CHRAJ found him complicit in procurement breaches during his time as GRA boss. The Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, CHRAJ, says its investigations into a petition arising over the purchase of vehicles found Dr. Owusu-Amoah liable for causing financial loss to the state to the tune of some 8.7 million cedis. He has subsequently been referred to the Attorney General for prosecution. And this afternoon, we'll walk you through some of the findings and what the decisions have been by the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice right now. And we'll get into those details right now for you, what the findings were. Just brief details, because it's a 157-page report, and obviously we can't bore you with all of the details. But of importance is that he's been found liable of causing financial loss to the state to the tune of some 826,000 plus US dollars. If you work the math into cedis, 8.9, almost 9 million cedis is what is attributable to him in terms of causing financial loss to the state. But of the decision that has been arrived at by CHRAJ, they say that the respondents, being Reverend Dr. Ammishaddai Owusu-Amoah, be disqualified from holding any public office for all periods of 5 years from the date of this decision. And so a 5-year ban, you could call it that, from holding public office. And also, the commission is referring him, as well as the directors of the 3 companies, because there were 3 companies involved in all of these procurement processes, to the Attorney General for possible prosecution and the recovery of the sum of this near 9 million that we see as loss to the state. And then, and so these are the details in terms of what it is that the CHRAJ, the Commission of Human Rights and Administrative Justice, has found against the former CHRAJ boss. Let's speak to the chief crusader of the Crusaders Against Corruption Ghana, Emmanuel Wilson Jr., on this latest. Mr. Wilson, I appreciate you speaking to us. Having read excerpts of the report, what do you make of the findings against the former GRA boss? A thorough work done, or a lot more room in terms of what was presented to them and their own investigative work? Mr. Wilson, can you hear us? Mr. Wilson,
can you hear me?
Yes, I
can hear you.
Did you hear my question as well?
Can you repeat the question, please?
I'm asking if what you've made of the entirety of the report, with the understanding that you've read it, you think good enough work done?
Well, I will obviously not want to underestimate or underrate any state institution's work, knowing very well that the tools and what information is available to them, I may not be so much privy to. We want to believe in state institutions. So the report that has come out, I want to say that, yes, as far as CHRAJ is concerned, this is the report they have given. We are supposed to work with it. So a different or a contrary report. Now, having said that, after going through the report, it's a bit amazing that such things are happening in this country. When over the past period we've been talking about the best avenue to fight corruption, it looks like we are not making significant progress as far as our expectations are concerned. The other thing that is of the worry to me is the fact that we have to always wait for a change in government before this project comes up. Right from this time, we had to get the benefit of knowing some of this route taking place under Rawlinson's era only when Kufuor came into office. The same thing happened. We got to know a bit more of the route taking place under Kufuor only when Asamoah came into office. And it has been the same thing today as we speak. If we do not take care, knowing very well that human institutions are always exposed to corruption and corruption-related matters, it is very likely, and I will not be surprised, that whether 4 years, 8 years, 15 years, whatever years, after the NDC has left office, there's a higher possibility that we may be experiencing similar things. And so it actually raises an issue. The issue is, what is it as a country that we are not doing right? That seems like we're having the same thing reoccurring over and over and over. And if you ask what exactly we are doing which is not right, I will be quick to tell you that our approach in fighting corruption is what we are doing and doing it wrongly. We are adopting a reactive approach over the past years instead of adopting a proactive approach. The proactive approach talks about building systems to prevent the occurrence of that. How come Ammishaddai could, be in charge of such roles? Even internally, CHRAJ, didn't they have officer? Didn't they have internal auditor? Didn't they have an accountant? Didn't they have an administrator? What exactly happened to the internal system, the internal structure, to the extent that just one person in the name of the Director General, if I got his title right, will be able to engage in such roles? Well, what's happening to the public procurement? Because in every institution, aside the Public Procurement Authority, every public institution is supposed to have a procurement department headed by a procurement officer. What happens to that procurement department? Internally, it is clear that the system has become so polarized to the extent that it breeds corruption. And for me, that is what we need to be looking at as a country.
That you mentioned that the fact that it appears the internal processes are non-existent, which allows these individuals to continue to engage in the breaches which is recorded every year, and even moving beyond this to the Public Accounts Committee sittings and many other instances of such nature. There appears to be a lack of national learning and also a lack of possible reforms as to addressing these matters.
I agree perfectly with you. That is also one thing that is affecting us. Our lack of reform. It stems from the fact that we pretend, and when I make reference to we, I'm making reference to the leaders that have the ability to cause this reform. Parliament, what is happening to them? Public Accounts Committee, which is a subset of Parliament, what is happening to them? In fact, when you go to Parliament, we have committees that are supposed to be in charge, specifically in charge of various sectors of our economy. So the committee that is supposed to ensure that this thing will not even reoccur. What happens to that committee? We are also talking about other institutions such as the Auditor General Department. What happened to that? So clearly, the reforms that need to be done are reforms that are supposed to be championed by these same individuals who, for whatever reason, have created the impression to me personally that when the system is weak as it is, or polarized as it is, they are comfortable because they benefit from it. I'll give you a typical example. How many years on haven't we talked about reforming our 92 Constitution? What has happened to it? You see, when you look at the 92 Constitution, for instance, it centralized power. It gives power so much to the executive led by the president of any given day. When you centralize power, it becomes difficult for the people.
Well, we have a review. We have a review process ongoing right now, and so perhaps there will be some work done in that respect. But we have to end the conversation here. I appreciate you speaking to us, Mr. Wilson, and I'm sure there will be another forum where we can begin to expand on questions about whether or not enough reforms are being undertaken, because not the first time a matter of such a nature has come up about procurement breaches and the likes. But we'll bring you some other stories here on News Central.